right, tonight we're going to be making a wreath from a kit I have available in my shop. So this is the sign. It's a banner-shaped sign, and it says, God bless America. I'm not going to sing the song because I don't know if it's copyrighted. I don't want to get in trouble. But play it in your head. All right, it comes with this deco poly mesh. This is one of my favorites to use. You see the border stripe on there? I'm a sucker for a border stripe, and I love this mesh. I love it because it's a little bit stiffer, right? I like that. And then we're pairing it with 3 ribbons. We have our red, white, and blue, and then we have the patriotic stars on that. And then we have our fancy panty ribbon, right? It's got that fancy scallop laced edge, which we love so much. And then we have, this is a red one. It's got red glitter and blue glitter and then white stars on here. That's going to be our 1.5 inch, okay? So for something like this with a banner sign, how I typically like to do it is on here, I'll put the banner and then I will usually put 1 bow at the top, 1 bow at the bottom. So this is going to be a double bow wreath, okay? That's how I like to do that on this. All right. The first thing I need to do, and I didn't do it because I ran out of time, is I need to cut my mesh. So I'll move that over here, bring that down over here. So this is 10-inch mesh. Sometimes it's 10.25 or 10.5, close enough, right? 10-inch mesh. I'm gonna unroll it. I'm trying to make noise. Ooh, wait. Crafting ASMR. I hate when people do that tappy thing and making the sounds with their fingernails. Pisses me off. I hate that sound. So why am I doing it to y'all? I don't know. All right, I'm going to cut this. Now I have a roller holder here. This is Susie's Wreaths and Things. There is a link in my profile, an affiliate link. But I like to have a holder that'll kind of hold everything in place for me because I can't stand it when mesh goes flying off the end. Drives me nuts, right? So I usually will start, you can use scissors. You can just cut straight up when you measure. I cut all these at 18 inches a piece. That will get me 18 cuts, technically 19, but I always want to assume there might be a splice in the roll. So that's why I cut that, because if you're cutting it at 18 inches, this will give me 12 pieces for my wreath and then 6 left over. I can combine those 6 with 6 left over from another roll, and that gives me 12, so I can make a whole other wreath. So 2 rolls of mesh can give me 3 wreaths. So that's why I like to do that. But when I first roll it out, sometimes this will be a little wonky, wavy. It is not this time, so I don't need to start with a straight cut because it looks pretty good. All right, I cut my mesh, like I said, at 18 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, it's going all over the place. I should have had a basket, huh? 6. And I do feel like I am behind with the patriotic, but I'm going on my own schedule. You know, I've got other things going on. So this is 7 cuts. I've got 7 cuts made. I want to kind of just throw them over here behind my computer so that they don't go rolling off the table. Okay, so there's 7. Okay, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, so what have you guys been up to lately? I want to talk with you guys tonight. I want to try to catch everything I can in the comments, but it has been a long time. I know I did a little bit last Wednesday night. March was a really rough month for me and my family. We are doing better. Everything is going well, but I was not available for my business as much as I had hoped to be. So, but now I'm back. Very happy to be back too. It was, I missed this, and right now I really do need the therapeutic aspect of it. So I'm very happy to be here tonight for sure. Okay, got some mesh over there, some over here. All right, the next thing I want to do, oh no, I left my ribbon tail boards. Hold please. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Coming back. Oh my gosh. I need my ribbon tail board. Yeah, I could have measured it by hand, but you guys know me. I'm too lazy for that. I don't want to do that. I have this in front of the TV. That's where I cut my wreath kits. I've got little stations all over the house, so I was by my TV. But I left those over there, so that was interesting. Hide comments, see all. All right, but let me know if you guys are out there. I'm not seeing any comments yet, but sometimes it delays. But what have you guys been up to? What are you crafting right now? What season crafting are you crafting for? I have been unloading all my supplies that I got from the warehouse sale. I just put a whole bunch of ribbon out there last night and today. All kinds. Christmas, every day. I think I just uploaded a black ribbon with white chicken wire that's like farmhouse. I'm all over the board on that place, right? Okay, so this is my first ribbon. This that comes in the kit. I'm going to cut these at 14 inches. So I need 12 pieces at 14 inches. So I'm going to roll this 12 times around here, okay? Tuck a little bit around the board, 14 inches. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I can use the rest for my 2 bows. All right, here we go. I like to have all my stuff cut before I even start thinking about putting the pipe cleaners on the wreath frame, because cutting is my least favorite part of the whole thing. So if I can get it cut, then I enjoy it a little bit more. Kind of do the stuff I don't like to do at the beginning, so then I'll enjoy it more at the end. Okay, dirty thoughts, and I'm keeping my mouth shut. For once, I'm keeping my mouth shut. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So now I have 2 stacks at 6 inches apiece, right? So these are 14 inches long. There are 6 of these here. I'm going to stack them really nicely and evenly. And then I'm going to bend all the wired edges together. Then I'm going to cut angled from the inside going outward. So here we go. Here we go. Last week I went live and I was hiding behind a bush because my face was broken out. Today I don't look much better. The rash is gone, but I look gross. But I just decided I'll throw on a hat. So, sorry for this. It's what you get. All right. I've been sweating, working today. You would be surprised how much physical work goes into selling wreath supplies. There's a lot of lifting and organizing, and let me tell you, I'm getting a little old for it, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. All right, here we go. Don't see any comments here yet. I'm going to go out from the live and then come back in, because I think like sometimes it gets real funky. So I'm going to go back out of that, and then I'm going to go back in. Come on. Come on. All right, well, somebody drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys are doing tonight. What are you doing? Is there something you guys are going to watch on TV tonight? We were supposed to go to the Field Museum here in Chicago tomorrow. Unfortunately, we were forecasted to have some pretty bad, pretty potentially severe weather in the afternoon, so I had to cancel that. That was going to be our one fun thing to do over spring break, but I don't want to be driving back from Chicago in that kind of weather. No, thank you. Okay, here's our fancy panty ribbon, okay? Now this is the one, it's got a scalloped edge on it, which is gorgeous. This reminds us of our little satiny underwear in the 1970s had that little fancy panty, little edging on there, right? So that's why we call it fancy panty ribbon. All right, 12 of these as well, also at 14 inches a piece. The funky thing comes when we try to start dovetailing it. Because of the scalloped edge, sometimes it does a little weird thing, so we just have to keep our eyes out for it. All right, let's start it right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ooh. So I just finished watching the current season of Virgin River, which is very, very good. If you haven't watched it before on Netflix, I love it. It's an awesome show. I'm not going to spoil anything. It was very good. It was a very satisfying season. I liked it. But now I'm also watching the very last season of Outlander. So sad. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So again, I've got 2 groups of 6 here. Okay. So when I fold this in half, cut it. Sometimes based on where that scallop hits, it can make the edge look a little funky. All right, so we're gonna cut this. And I think they all look okay, but sometimes you might have to snip just a little piece of the lace, because sometimes it'll kind of look like an extra like finger sticking out or something. It looks a little wonky sometimes, but not a big deal. I love using this in all sorts of color combinations. I especially like it blue with the white. I did that in one of my wreath kits. It's a chinoiserie butterfly wreath kit. And there's a grapevine one, and then there's a thin wreath one. My favorites, right? But right now in my shop, if you guys are looking for existing decor, I've got 20% off in my shop only through tomorrow. So tonight is the last night to get it, right? So go on out there. You got to use code SPRINGBREAK20. That'll get you 20% off through April 2nd. All finished decor in my shop. I don't have supplies on sale currently. Not to say that that won't be coming up, but my supplies, the overhead on my supplies is already pretty low. So that's why they don't really go on sale all that often, is because I've already shrank down my profit margin as much as I can, because I love to be able to provide items to people so they can make their own fun stuff. Okay. For this one, I'm only going to use this for the bows. I'm not going to use this on the actual wreath itself because I think there's already enough going on. So we're going to hold off on that. All right. So I've got ribbon, got these. It's time to get out the chenille stems. What do we use these for? Well, this is going to attach our mesh and our ribbon onto our wreath frame. So this is your best friend when it comes to making thin wreaths. All right. So I usually put about 17 of these in a kit. I've also started putting actual, like, I bought packets of 25 that are now, you can get a whole bag in certain kits. Okay. So I'm going to start. Let's look at the wreath frame. If you already know this part, then you guys can blow past this. But when you look at the wreath frame, there are 4 rings, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there are 6 spines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's when we think about it. I group together 1 and 2. I call the inside ring. 3 and 4 are the outside ring. Okay, so when I make my pipe cleaners in here, I'm gonna put it underneath ring 2. Okay, underneath ring 2. Let me go this way. Underneath ring 2. Okay, I'm going to go over ring 1, but now I'm on the right side of that spine. You see that? The spine is there. And I'm going to go underneath ring 2, pull it down, go back up. All right. So I got part of it is on the left side of the spine. The other is on the right side of the spine. Now it kind of looks like that. But I got to twist it. We got to keep it on there, right? We got to keep it on there. So I'm going to twist it like that. And then here we go. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do this again. There we go. Under ring 2 to the left of the spine. Bring it around over top of ring 1. Underneath ring 2, we're now on the right side of the spine. Bring it on under. Back up to the top. Okay, so it looks like that. And then we just twist it together. I do not untwist this when I go to put on the mesh and the ribbon. Some people do. I do not, because I like to keep it nice and tight so it doesn't go wiggling and sliding. That's what you want to make sure when you make a thin wreath, is that, especially on the outside ring, because it's not secured onto a spine, it's between. You want to make sure that's nice and tight, because you don't want things sliding around on that wreath, okay? It's not an abacus, it's a wreath. So we don't want to slide beads and stuff all over the place, right? To keep it nice. But I think patriotic is going to be big this year, despite the current political climate. And I'm not going there. I'm not going there. But I want to celebrate the America that I love, and everyone wants to celebrate their version of the America that they love. So I think we're all going to be doing that this year. I did post just before this, if you guys saw, I did a custom sign that says America's 250th birthday. It's got an eagle. It's gorgeous, gorgeous sign. I love it. And I only have 4 kits available, and then I've got 2 additional signs I'm holding on to. I might list those by themselves. I might make those thin kits. I'm not sure yet, but there's 4 big fluffy ones. It even comes with all the florals. It comes with the rose bush that you need. Okay, so now I've got all 6 on the inside. let's move to the outside. We're going to go, here's a spine, here's a spine. We're going to go right in the middle between using rings 3 and 4, okay? So I'm on the top of ring 3, under ring 4, bring it back around, over 3, under 4. All right, so you got the 2. Now I want to pull this tight enough so that it bends and bows just a little bit, because that means that it won't go sliding, right? Okay, here I did that, and I'm pulling on it, and it's not going anywhere. That's how you know it's going to be nice and secure. Okay, here we go. I was excited to do that fluffy wreath kit. I do have several thin patriotic wreath kits available, but I also do have some, at least 2. No, there's more than that. There's more. There's 4 fat, fluffy ones, I like to call them. 2 of them are gnome kits. They even come with a little gnome. Oh my God, they're so cute. Little patriotic gnome. Here we go. Here we go. I've been loading a lot of kits and a lot of supplies this week, and I'm so tired. So tired. And I'm not seeing any comments. I don't know why. My comments are gone. Hide comments. See all. I don't know what's going on. Okay, at least I can see hearts and stars. So thank you for that. I'm going to try to go back in. Maybe go back full. Come back out thin. I don't know. I'm not seeing any comments, and I don't know why. Here, I'm just going to write one. Hello. All right. Well, at least I can see one. Maybe you guys are just being quiet tonight, and you know what? That's okay. I usually watch and I lurk in the darkness, and I, most of the time, don't comment because usually my hands are busy doing something else. So I get it. I get it. Sometimes we're on in the background where we're doing other things. That's the story of my life. Okay, here we go. We've got 6 on the inside, 6 on the outside. We are ready to go. This thing is going to be 22 inches wide and only 4 inches deep. This is the one time in life when bigger is not necessarily better. Okay, here we go. Save these. We're going to use these for the bow. All right, got my ribbon tails here. Got scissors, and I got 5 pieces to start. I'll pull the rest over, but I want to have room to work. I was playing around with the idea of maybe getting a larger table, but I think I'm good with what I got. Because then I'll just put more stuff on it, and I'll still leave my space limited. All right, so when we have our piece of mesh, we cut it off the roll. So you can see this thing, it wants to curl, right? And if this were a cruffle thicker wreath, we would absolutely do that, but we don't want to do that. We want thinner, so we're going to go curl side down, okay? Curl side down. If you're new to doing this, you might want to put a weight at the end of your piece to kind of hold it down, okay? So I've got this down. I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to take my 2 fingers. I'm going to imagine a line right up the center, and I'm going to gather it up, okay? So just pinch and gather, pinch and gather. You can maybe hear my fingernails scraping, right? Pinch and gather, pinch and gather, pinch and gather. And here we go. And when you're done, it looks like a little butterfly, but it also looks like a circle, okay? Which is what we want. Here we go. I'll put that. I'm going to start this on the outside. Okay. And I'm going to go and I'm going to twist this. All right. And then it kind of looks like that. But you can see in the back, it's kind of all wonky. It's not leveled out. We want to pull, make sure everything comes around. We want to flatten this out, and we want to layer left side over right, or right over left. It doesn't matter, but you basically want this to come around so that it ends up looking like a circle. Okay, that is why this is called a pancake wreath. I learned this method from Coach Melissa, Sincerely Creative Mom. She does a great job with these. That's where I learned it, and I want to give credit where credit is absolutely due. Okay, now I'm going to go around. We're going to do this again. I'm going to weigh this down. And usually, if I'm not talking and I'm kind of really focusing and trying to fly, I can make one of these in about 45 to 50 minutes. I usually go slower when I'm online because I'm trying to go slow enough where you guys can see. All right. I'll talk through the next one, okay? Something I do like to do, though, is take the inside ones, and I want to poke them into the inside just because it makes it easier to find these when I go to do the inside. But I do the outside. We're going to do the outside with the mesh, and then we're going to do the ribbon on the outside. And then we'll do the mesh on the inside, and then the ribbon. Or will we do mesh ribbon at the same time? I call that lazy pancake. We can do that method as well. All right. Curl side down. And these are cut at 18 inches long. If you just joined us, 18 inches long. All right, I'm going to scrape up the middle. That is weird. I don't see any comments at all other than my own. If you guys are seeing comments and I'm not answering, I don't see them, even though it's up, but I will go back and I will answer everyone's questions when I'm done. Okay? Okay, layer left over right. Layer left over right so that it makes that circle shape. Okay, we layered. Do this again. I also, for patriotic stuff, like to use, I have a vertical stripe mesh. I've got it actually multiple colors, but I love it so much. I have it red, white, and blue, and I'm almost sold out again. I only have 3 more rolls in the red, white, and blue. That might be it for the year. But I also have it for Halloween, for Christmas, for fall. Layer left over right. Left over right. Oops. 2 more to go. But I still do love a good border stripe, right? You can't convince me otherwise. I love my border stripe. Now this one, I'm not holding the end down, but I'm used to doing this, so I can I'm pretty good at kind of keeping it straight and going up the center. But it does help to weigh it down on one end if you are newer to this process. Here we go. The reason I wanted to do this one is somebody bought this kit and I did not have a prototype made of this wreath, but now I will be able to send her a picture and a link to the video so she'll be able to see how we did that. Not all kits have videos because sometimes I may only have, 3 or 4 available for a certain kit. Or it might be very similar to another kit I've already done. It's just, the materials are different, but the style is the same. The shape of the sign is the same. That kind of thing. Okay, so we've got all 6 done on the outside right now, okay? That's what it looks like there. That is our depth. It will go down once we put ribbon and things on here. How we're going to do with the ribbon is knock stuff off our table. That's exactly what we're going to do, Linda. Very good. Okay, I'm going to layer this. Now, I'm going to have the red fancy panty be on the bottom, and then I'm going to put a red, white, and blue stripe on top, okay? Sometimes one might be longer than the other because, we dovetailed. It doesn't have to be exact, just close enough. Bend it over, and then make a crease, right? Because that is going to tell us where we want to pinch this. So we're going to pinch and gather, okay? And then I like to make sure they're going down, but I like to go from behind and kind of pop that out because then, can you see it kind of curls back a little bit? It lays nicer when I try to do that. So kind of just pop it out from behind right on the opposite side of where you pinched. So I'm going to open this, okay? Now you notice I've opened this pipe cleaner, but this didn't pop out. No, it learned that's where it has to be. I'm going to set that right in there, okay? And you can put a 1.5 inch ribbon in here if you would like as well. Okay, I am twisting this on the outside, okay? So I've got I'm going to cut off everything but an inch, okay? So I'm just going to cut an inch. And then now you see we have this little piece sticking out here, okay? It's still sticking out. So we want to take our mesh and separate it out. So I call this going between the butt cheeks of the mesh. And we're just going to push that right in there. Push it against the frame. And then bring the mesh back around. And now you don't even see it. And it's poked right behind here. And it's not long enough where it's not going to scratch the door. It's going to work just fine. But we want to separate out our ribbon tails, okay? Now we don't have to bring them inward because that's not the style of this wreath. They just need to come outward toward me, okay? I can either, this is what it looks like if they're alternated, okay? Or if you want to, you can bring the similar patterns on the inside and leave the other ones on the outside so that it would look like this, okay? That is an option as well. I like to just alternate them. That's just personal preference. But that's what's fun about these kits is you can put your own spin on this. Just because I do it one way doesn't mean you have to do it that way. Do it how you like it. This is your kit, your expression of your own choice and creativity. All right, I'm going to layer the next 2 ribbons over each other. Go down. Here we go. All right, pinching, boop, boop. Okay, so it kind of popped. I'm going to lay that right in here. I'm going to twist, and then we're going to go up about 1 inch. So I did a poll a couple days ago on whether or not people preferred a thin wreath or a thick wreath. And I think what I've learned, that I kind of knew, is that it really is based off of where you live in the country. Because if you live down south and you don't have a storm door, then you are free to have as big and thick of a wreath as you want. But up here in the Midwest, most people have the storm doors, so that's why the skinny wreath is popular up here for that reason. Okay, so preference. But I've also started getting into grapevines more. We'll see what happens. I like to mix it up. I haven't been making that much because I've been otherwise occupied taking care of my loved one's health situation. So I feel bad that I was not available, but I was also glad that I don't. Here, I'm gonna pop this, okay? If you're looking at this, it's kind of like this. I'm just gonna go from behind and go boop, right? So we're gonna pop that tail. I'm grateful that not grateful that I'm in the situation I am, because I'm in this situation because my husband died, but I'm currently able to be at home with my kid, but also launching my own, I've got my own small business, which is, it takes a lot of time, but I didn't have to ask anybody for time off. I didn't have to beg like I used to have to do. And my whole goal is to never have to be in that kind of position again. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. I worked for corporate America. Not a fan. I worked for United Healthcare. Not a fan. Anyway. There we go. That's all right. But I like the freedom of having my own business. The problem is I have to be able to turn it into a profitable enough business where it will sustain what I need for income to maintain the house and everything else. So that is that's my goal. That's why I started selling supplies. But also because I just keep buying supplies because I love it. I can't help it. I love it. Oh, just sitting there looking at patterns of ribbon and matching things together, and it fills my heart with such joy. I know. It's, if you know, right? Like, everyone's got their hobby, everyone's got their thing. Like, I'm not into sports, but I can see why some people are into sports, and it makes them happy and joyful, and that's awesome. Cool for that. We've all got to find our own joy, and our own joy looks different to everybody else. Most of the time, my joy is McDonald's while watching Netflix. So, obviously, that's okay. That's next up on the list of stuff to deal with. All right, here we go. I've got one more left to do on the outside here. Okay. I just got this last one, so I'm going to undo. And I love that the mesh just stays. Everyone thinks that it's going to pop out back at them like a can of snakes. April 1st. Haha. No, we're not doing that tonight. Life is scary enough. I don't need an April Fool's joke. No, thank you. No, thank you. But I like that the mesh stays in there. It's helpful. Here we go. And I'm just going to pinch right up there. And again, let's talk about that popping. Okay, so you can kind of see it's like this. If I go behind and I just push from behind with my thumb, go, oop, pop, oop, pop. It kind of brings it out and it kind of makes a little bubble. And that, I think, helps it lay better, but it also helps the ribbons separate from each other because they're not supposed to be stuck together. You want them to operate separately. Now, they will kind of naturally start going back to their original positions for a little bit. So we might have to readjust them 2-3 times by the time we get the sign on, by the time we make the bow, you know, all that stuff. Okay. So here is the outside. This is the outside. All right, here we go, outside. You might find some stray little strings. We're just gonna pluck these. I call these my stray chin hairs. Don't look too close, otherwise you're actually gonna see my stray chin hairs. We don't wanna, yeah. I'm like the little piggy in the hair of my chinny chin chin. All right, I'm gonna bring over the rest of this mesh. All right, I got 6 pieces left. I'm gonna go a slightly different method this time. It's not that much different, there's just an extra little step, but if you know me, you know I'm lazy and I don't like to do extra stuff. So, that is weird. It is just not bringing up any comments at all. I don't know what's going on. We'll have to see. Sorry. I'm trying. I have no IT support. So what I'm going to try to do is put on mesh and then ribbon and then move to the next one and then do mesh and ribbon, because I don't want to have to twist it and then come back and do it all again. So this is what I call the lazy method. So you can use this one as well. Okay. Here we go. All right. I'm still going to do the same thing that I did. I'm going to lay my mesh out flat. Okay. I'm still going to gather it up. Right up the center. That's why I kind of like a vertical stripe mesh, is because it actually gives you a line and a pattern to follow. All right, now I'm going to go, so between here and here, right in the middle, I should find a pipe cleaner set. And I do. There it is. There it is, my friends. All right, so I just got to bring it to the forefront. And I am going to put my mesh right on top of there. Now this one's a little trickier because you're trying to work with mesh that's already on there, but you can find your 2 ends of your pipe cleaner and then bring it up and then just give it a good twist, okay? And then we still want to layer. I go left over right, but you just want it to flatten out, right? Okay, don't cut that off yet, all right? Now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get my ribbon. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna fold it in half. Here we go. Here we go. And I'm just going to put it on here now before I move everything over. The only extra step I'm going to have to do at the end is just to make sure that the ribbon is laying on top of the mesh, because like then it'd be like, you know, kind of layered over. And we just want to make sure that the ribbon is forefront. But I'm going to have to go back and check my tails again anyway. So it doesn't make much of a difference to me at all. Not that I've seen, not that I've done, not that I've worked with. All right, going around. Let's find those pipe cleaners. Let's pull them up here. Pull them all up, all between, so I don't have to go digging. All right, and then here's the last set. Okay. I pulled them all up. Well, that's going to make it a lot easier now, isn't it? All right. Here we go. Next set of mesh. Boom, boom, boom. I am very much looking forward to not just patriotic season, but I think just the summer in general. It's going to be nice this year. My daughter, for the first time in years, does not have to go to summer school. Yay! And I'm excited for a selfish reason. I don't have to get up and get her on the bus in the morning during the summer then. Yes! Yes! Excited. Because really, it's just all about me, isn't it? No, it's not. But she is going to look forward to actually having fun and being able to knock wood. If I can get that pool fixed. Everything, it's not broken, but you know, I just got to get it up and running. But that's what I love most about the summer. That's what I love about patriotic season, and it's just, I don't know. I think, to me, like, I think like 4th of July and like remembering when, like, when we would, you know, take the kids to see fireworks and all that fun stuff. Those are the good memories, you know. I think that's when you make the core memories on days like that. And that's why I think sometimes we get really nostalgic for patriotic stuff, because it kind of takes us back maybe to having memories like that with our own parents or when our kids were younger. hot dogs. I'm going to confess something, and I don't want any judgment. Okay, please don't judge me. Please don't judge me. I do not like hot dogs on the grill. Burgers, yes. Hot dogs on the grill, no. I need my hot dog boiled. If my hot dog has grill marks on it, or it's charred, or it's... No, no. Do you guys like grilled hot dogs? No. A grilled chicken? Perfect. Grilled pork chops? Absolutely. Grill anything you want. I grill asparagus. But grill me a hot dog? No, thank you. I will just have the bun. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't be the only one that feels like that. My stepdaughter loves grilled hot dogs. And when I would just make them in the pot, she would not be happy. Like, I'm sorry. I just don't like it. I also put ketchup on my hot dogs. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Chicago, apparently this, in Chicago here, it's apparently like a cardinal sin. Like, excuse me. Like, can we please not judge the differently condimented? Like, I like what I like. It is who I am. I was born that way. Please don't judge. I just love me some ketchup. It's like liquid vegetables. That's the only way I get a veggie. Kind of reminds me of this ribbon. This kind of, it reminds me of the Heinz ketchup bottle. I love that. The Heinz ketchup bottle. By the way, Aldi ketchup is the exact same as Heinz. The Berman's line of ketchup, it's Heinz, just in a different bottle. I confirmed it with ChatGPT, but my taste buds knew. I didn't have to ask anybody. I knew. My tongue knows when it comes to ketchup. I can tell you the difference between Hunt's is grainier. It's a bit more gritty. It's not as sweet. It's a bit more on the vinegar side. I like me a Heinz. I prefer a refrigerated Heinz. I prefer my ketchup refrigerated versus being left out. But that's okay. I did briefly consider getting one of those big giant ketchup dispensers with the pump that you can pick up at like Sam's or like Walmart with a big push down pump, but realized that I like it in the fridge, and that would make it a little too difficult to like grab it and take it back to my TV tray. Going in with a big giant gallon size of ketchup. Yeah, that's me. All right, we're almost done. Oh, I forgot. I got to do my mesh. I'm tired. Here we go. Just 3 more pieces of mesh, and then we're gonna do the sign. And this one, we'll do some sample placements with the sign so that you can kind of see different ways you can put it on. I like to go just across the middle because I just think that's what I like. But you know, it depends also if you have anything else you might want to put on the wreath as well. I mean, there might be a sign. You might have some other attachments. You might have a flag or some other things that you want to put on here as well. So that's kind of why I like this banner sign too, is because it can allow you, because it doesn't take up as much real estate, you can kind of play with it more and figure out different places that you want that. You know, if you want to put on something additional with it, so you can mess with that. I typically don't put anything extra though into my pancake wreaths. If I don't have to, but I do have red, white, and blue star picks available in my shop, sweetariadecor.com. The glitter star picks are available in my shop. I still have those because I had bought a whole case of those, so we're doing good. Some of those are actually in a lot of the kits that I have put together. Not in this particular one, but they are in some of the other kits I've got. Here we go. All right, 2 more, and then we get to do the real fun stuff, which to me, my favorite part is making the bows. I love to make me a good bow. I'm a sucker for a bow. Here we go. All right, laying that down. Let's grab some ribbon. All right, we've only got 1 set after this. We're almost done, everybody. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I appreciate it. I know you guys see me make these all the time, but they're fun to make and they sell well. So here we go. Are you guys doing any summer festivals? Any outdoor festivals? I no longer do outdoor festivals because I felt like I was going to die at one, and I promised myself I wouldn't do them anymore. Because I literally was in the weather, and my whole tent almost went over, and it was a disaster. But I know people do have success at summer shows. There's always been one in LaGrange that I've kind of always wanted to do, but then I don't do well in the heat. What is it that I do in the heat? Pass out. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So I'm an air-conditioned menopausal kind of gal. I'm in my sweating era. Am I a Swiftie? No, I'm a sweaty. I'm in a sweaty era. That's what I'm in. I am also a Swiftie. But yeah. Sweaty. So, yeah. I wish they had more summer shows that were in indoor air-conditioned venues. Okay? That's all I have to say about that. I think they do better, too, because then people would go inside and have somewhere nice that they could sit and relax in the air conditioning. All right, last one. And then we're going to talk our sign and how to attach our sign, because there are multiple methods. I will talk you through one and show you through another, okay? Here we go. It's so weird that there's no comments showing up. I've had that happen before in the past, so please don't think I'm ignoring you. I've tried several times and none of the comments are coming up. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will go back and answer every question and comment that you guys have. I promise. Okay, here is our finished with the mesh and the ribbon. Okay, that's what it looks like right now. We're not entirely done. A little ways to go. All right, find a couple of those little straight chin hairs. Kind of give it a once over across the back. All right. Okay, so this is what we've got. Here's our sign. Don't hang it by this. It'll just keep walking back and forth. That was a beginner mistake that I made. You really want to secure it from two sides so it doesn't swing back and forth. So we could put this up toward the top and have a larger big bow down at the bottom. Or maybe I do want to do that. Maybe, because I usually go across the middle, right? And then I'll put like a bow at the top and the bottom. But maybe we want to try that and then do like a big bow down at the bottom. The problem is we would have to attach it down here. And in order to fill this in, we would have to have that loop be probably 8 inches. And I don't think that that would look good. I think we do best by kind of going from one to here and one to here. So when I do that, usually I will say to think of the wreath at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. But when we have a banner wreath, I kind of want to have it where you're looking at like 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock and kind of just going across that way. Okay, so let me take a look. Let me face it toward me for just a second. I want to see what I want to do here. But then we would have to feed the bow between the spots. And so instead of putting it over where we have it on the mesh, we would have to go kind of in between, which we can absolutely do. Okay, I think that is what we're going to try to do. So I'm going to attach it here and here, okay? So what I'm going to do is, this kit comes with, where's the other one? I don't know where the other one went. Hold on. Well, it comes with 2 of these cable tie mounts. Okay, see this little black cable tie mount? On the back of it, there's an adhesive sticker, okay? So first what we want to do is cut the rope off. Okay, we don't need that. You would take the adhesive sticker off. Imagine you've peeled off the adhesive sticker. You would put a dab of, you can use super glue. I prefer E6000. So you would use either super glue or E6000. You add some onto here. Like I use like a pea size of E6000, but then also put it on the wood itself. So it's got 2 points of contact. And then you would put that kind of as close to the outside as you could. So I'm going to do like one up there and then one down here is where I would go, okay? But that takes 24 hours to cure. So in the meantime, what you would do is take your hot glue gun and go around that cable tie mount with glue, making sure you get it on both the wood sign and the black plastic. And then that's kind of a temporary hold until that E6000 cures. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is like I do, with a little apparatus I like to call a staple gun, okay? Now the problem is that my staples are longer than the wood is. So I have to build this up a little bit so my staples don't come through the front. So I take the cardboard tube from mesh, okay, and I cut strips about 1 inch. So I'm gonna cut this in half and then in half again. In half again, and then in half again. All right, so I have 4 strips of cardboard. I'm going to go 2 and 2, so 2 on each side, okay? All right, let me move this over here so you guys can really see what I'm doing, okay? So I'm going to put one down there and flatten it down with your hand because that naturally is curved. We want it to lay flat. And then I'm going to go right up here, okay? So it's on either end of the banner. And I'm going to take 1 pipe cleaner on each side. Okay, I'm going to line it up. I put the pipe cleaner on top of here because some people will sandwich it between there or put it on the bottom. But then I can't tell if the staple actually hit both sides of it as opposed to missing it by a little bit. So I want to make sure it's on there. So I'm going to go 1. Uh-oh. I moved it at the last minute so it wasn't all the way down. Give me a second. Here we go. Don't move your hand this time, Linda. Oh, it didn't work. What's going on? What's going on? I know what's going on. I am both out of staples and it jammed. So, there we go. Am I out of staples? I'm out of staples. That's why it didn't go in. It was jamming. Okay. All right. So, bear with me. Please hold. Your call is very important to us. Oh, where did I put that big box of staples? Oh, you know, this always happens right when I go live. No, those are too big. Screw it. Well, guess what we're going to do this time? We're going to actually do, let's do that method. Let's do the method with the cable tie mounts. That's how I'm going to solve this problem. There we go. I will fix you later. All right, I've got my E6000. I also have to have this to get the cap off. There we go. Some people say put Vaseline on there. That would be a very good idea. I should probably do that. All right, so I'm going to put one over here, one over here, okay? The first time I did this, I forgot to take the plastic adhesive off the thing, and then the sign just fell right off. It was really funny. And then I got mad and cried. All right. I need something plastic so I can pull the gummy off the top. Just trying to pull that extra gunk out of there so I can get a good shot at getting the glue out. Otherwise, sometimes I have to go take a pin. So I can do that too. And gotta kind of clear out the tip. There we go. It was just clogged a little bit. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna put a pea size amount on my cable tie mount. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay. I'm going to put one over here. And I'm going to put a dab on the actual wood and on the actual wood. Okay. All right. This just means, though, when I put the the other stuff on there. I'm going to have to be very careful not to pull too tight. Okay. We don't want to pull too tight so that our hot glue comes off. All right. It's on there. So I'm going to go around the edge with the hot glue. All right. And again with the hot glue. All right. Now, I want to let that sit up. So we are going to switch into bow making mode now. So we're going to move into that. I'm going to get my bow maker. Okay. That is my Easy Bows Design Pro. My favorite bow making tool in the whole world. All right. And we have 3 types of ribbon. Okay, remember we have our 2.5 pattern. We also have our 1.5, okay? I'm not going to use too much of this, so if you bought this in a kit, you're going to be able to use this on a whole lot of other projects, all right? That's why I like to give everybody extras. Extras are good. All right, sitting down again. All right, I need to get 2 bows out of this. Now, I want these to be round bows. I don't want these to be bows that have long tails, okay? Because I don't want tails from the top to hang over the sign, and I don't want to have 2 different style bows, so I want them to kind of look the same, okay? So, I'm going to cut this. All right. Now, I'm going to have to kind of cover space to space. So I'm going to need, if the bows are going to go in between, I want to be able to cover this and that. So we're going to do 6-inch tails, okay? 6-inch tails here. Okay, so I'm going to put it through my bow maker. Okay, 6 inches. And I'm going to pinch and twist on the left-hand side so that I'm looking at the other side, okay? You can also decide if you want to pinch and twist up here. You can do that same thing there as well. Sometimes people like to do that instead. Okay. I don't want to block the view in front of you. So this is, I might look awkward, but that's because I do it usually a different way when it's just me. I'm going to put it through here. I'm going to look at, we're going to do a 5.5-inch loop on that, okay? I push it down, and then I pinch and twist on the right side, so we're looking at the back side of the bow, or the ribbon. Bring it over, and then let's do 5.5, okay? And then this one we can just bring out. Now this one, this actually ended up a little past 6, so I'm going to cut this at 6.5. Because then when I dovetail it, it will be less, okay? Okay. And then we're going to think in terms of an X. So I'm going to take this tail and pull it toward me and have the loop up. And then I'm going to do the opposite. So it's going to be a loop toward me and tail up on the opposite side, okay? So we will have that, okay? Oh, you know, I should have started with this one. Yeah, I should have started with that one. Oh. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that. We're going to save it. We're going to save it. Okay. I might make it a little smaller. All right. But that's okay. It'll just be a small, minor adjustment. Okay, so we did like a little past over 6. Pinch and twist. Come over here. We're going to do 5.5-inch on our loop. Pinch and twist. So we're looking at the back side of the ribbon over here. Bring it back through and then have a 5.5-inch. Okay, and then cut this off at like 6.5. Okay, now I'm going to bring that back, that other layer, and I'm going to adjust it. Okay. I can tell my brain is tired. My body is tired. It's not a good combination. Okay, I'm going to put this back through. So I'm going to cut a little bit off this first tail, all right? So that this tail is eventually, this is going to hit at, so this was like about 6.5. This one's going to hit at 6, okay? I'm going to bring this over. Okay, make sure that this loop is going to hit at 5 instead of 5.5. Pinch and twist, which it kind of already was. Bring this over, and then this loop is also going to be at 5. All right, and then we're going to put this over. So then this one, I'm just going to cut slightly past 6 and dovetail it. Okay, so now I have corrected it. I just had to shorten it and pull it a little bit narrower. But see, I want you guys to see that it doesn't always go perfect, even for somebody that has made a ton of wreaths. Sometimes you still screw up, and that's okay. All right, this time bow toward me, tail up, and then left is tail down and loop up. So it's the opposite of what we had before, okay? Now this is going to fill in the void gaps between the solid red with the white, okay? So we're going to go that way. All right, and now we are looking at it like that, okay? Now we're going to come here with our solid red. Here we go. And again, if you just joined us, for some reason, I'm not able to see comments tonight. I see my own, but I don't see anybody else's. So something weird with that. I apologize. All right, this 1.5 inch, I'm going to put in here having a tail at 5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. And then on this side, I pinch and twist. So I look at the back of the ribbon. I'm going to loop it over, and I want a 4-inch loop this time. So I can move that loop and make sure that I'm aligning with 4 inches. Okay, and then I pinch and twist on this side, making sure I can see 4 inches on this side. Okay, and I cut it just past 5. I like my 1.5 inch tail to be about 1 inch longer than my loop. Okay, then we're going to put tail toward me and loop up, and then loop up, or tail up and loop down. There we go. The opposite on that side. All right, so I have still my pipe cleaner. I take the whole thing. Okay, keep it nice and tight. I'm just going to bring this pipe cleaner up and over, set that down. I'm just going to go twisty, twisty. There we go. And here, there we go. If you wanted to, you could have put a little sweet center loop in there, but for this particular type with the bow, I don't feel I needed to. Plus, if you push your tails down and then you pinch together right in there, it's going to hide that pipe cleaner, but it's red and you really don't see it at all. All right. Let's see, this way it can flatten down. So this is not a very wide bow. We want it to be flat, and it is not super thick, right? All right, so let's go make another one. Okay. There we go. Hold on. There we go. I'm just making a mess. It's crazy. What am I doing? I don't know. All right, here we go. This one is going to hit, again, at a little past 6 inches, okay? I push that down in here, and then on this left side, I kind of pinch and twist. This is the back side of our ribbon. I'm going to bring it over so we have a 5.5 inch loop. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to push down and then pinch and twist on the right-hand side. So I'm looking at the back on the right-hand side now. Make sure it looks at 5.5. And I'm not flattening the 5.5. It's just following the natural curve. Okay, but I don't have to pinch and twist because this one is just going to be a tail coming out. So this is going to cut out a little past 6. Okay. Now we're going to dovetail. All right. Tail comes toward me. Loop goes up on the right. Loop comes toward me. Tail goes up on the left. All right. I already dovetailed that one. All right. That one's going to come through here. Now we're going to have, that tail was a little past 6. This one's going to hit exactly at 6. Okay. Pinch and twist. Okay. And this is going to be a 5-inch loop on this side. 5-inch loop. Pinch and twist. Here we go. Pinch and twist. 5-inch loop. Right. There we go. Okay. Hit this one at 6 and dovetail. There we go. All right. Nope, opposite way. Tail down toward me on the left, loop up on the left, and then loop down toward me and tail up over there. Okay. All right. And then now I'm going to grab the 1.5. The cool thing is there's still enough ribbon on here. You can even make a long-tailed bow, and you're going to have a coordinating bow that you can make with a lantern. You can put it on a garland. You can just put that on a mailbox, right? So if you carry that one pattern or a combination of patterns elsewhere in your home, it creates more of a cohesive feel where it feels more planned and more like, I don't know, just carries the same theme throughout, which I think is nice. Okay, 5-inch tail, pinch and twist, looking at the back, bringing it around. We're going to do a 4-inch loop. Okay, pinch and twist, that's the back. I can hear my daughter upstairs yelling about something. I'm sure it's gaming something. Okay, and cut this one off at 5. All right. Here we go. Now also, in some of these, in the center of the bow, if you you've got like a little glitter stars or something like that, sometimes they have like a little glitter, you know, sprinkle, table sprinkle. You can get it, you know, Dollar Tree or whatever. You can glue those in the center of these bows too, and that ends up looking really cute as well. But if you're going to glue it, I would say use Gorilla Glue or Super Glue, because regular glue will probably soften up and melt in the summer. Okay, so here we go. Let's fluff our bow. Not too fluffy though, because we want to kind of keep it flat. All right, so every other pattern. Okay, and then remember what we were doing with this. We're going to push our tails down. We're going to pull our pinch in the center, pinch our loops, and then kind of, there we go. All right. All right. Let's move to the side. Let's put all this together now. Just a couple minutes left. We're going to get this all done. All right. Oh, I lost my Facebook page. Hold on. Come back. Come back, Toto. Come back. No. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. I want to put the sign on first. So what I'm going to do is take 2 of my chenille stems. All right. These cable timeouts have holes where we're just going to slide these right on through. Okay, so right on through. Kind of bring it up and then just give it a nice little twist. Okay. Same thing here. Oops, there we go. Now I got to be careful because I haven't let this sit long enough. I don't want to pull my sign too tight and have it fall off. So I'm going to be very gentle with it. Okay. But I was kind of going across the middle. So I'm going to go over this spot right here where we already have our ties and everything. We're just going to go right over that existing pipe cleaner spot with this pipe cleaner. So the path is already there. We just have to follow it again. All right, gently and carefully. The inside's easier to get. The outside on this one, you might have to go through, you know, multiple layers. So you got to make sure that there isn't ribbon underneath there that's in the way. But usually it's not. Usually it's okay. Okay, flip that. I'm just gonna twist, and we can always go back later on and tighten up our sign too. All right, just kind of bend that. I didn't even snip it. I just bent it right over the frame. Just wrap it around the frame. Okay. And now this one is going to go over across this way. All right. This is going to go right through here. Nice and close. Should be pretty easy to get through. Now I do want to make sure that we are on the outside of ring 1 and the inside of ring 2. So we're straddling 2 sets of rings here. Okay, wrap it together. Then just kind of bend it around the frame. And there we go. Okay. 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 So right now, this is what we have. We're going to put the bows in between here. So we're going to make sure first, we're going to go around, we're going to make sure that our ribbons are on top of all the mesh, right? So when we did that before, when we did the lazy pancake, sometimes the mesh will lay on top of the ribbon. We want to fix that. And we have, that's the only difference we have to do. All right. So we're going to go right between here. So you see right between here and here, we're going to put it right there. And then we're going to put it down there as well. All right. So we're going to put the first one. Now, with this method, you usually have to pierce the mesh with the pipe cleaner. I don't normally recommend that, but I think because of this banner style, that's what we have to do. And it's okay. It does go through. It just might take a little bit longer to make sure it comes through. Like here. All right. I got it right here. It's going to go nice and tight. I'm just going to go wrap it around. All right. And then wrap that around the rest of the frame. And then just kind of poke the ends in, right? So nothing is going to scratch the door. It's going to be all a-okay. Okay. That's why I wanted to do shorter bows on here with those slightly shorter tails too, because we don't want any of the loops or the tails covering up any of the wording on our sign. So we kind of play with that a little bit. Now let me do the bottom one. That's kind of what it looks like there. Turned out really cute. And I'm going to do the bottom one here. So let's, I can grab the inside ring, the top of ring 1 with your hand. That's a good guide. And then you can kind of feel with your other fingers where the pipe cleaner needs to go through. And usually that just helps you guide it right on through. All right, and there we go again. I got him. Got him. Oh my gosh, that one actually was on ring 3. That was kind of big there. Okay, we don't need that. No, actually, I don't like that. I don't like where that one went at all. Hold on. Here we go. That second one was not in between. It was kind of too close to one of them. So here we go. All right. Just going to twist. Twist, 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 twist. Come on, baby. Let's do the twist. Wrap it around. Wrap it around. Wrap it around. All right. That looks so cute. Okay, I just want to turn that a little bit. I don't want to cover up the wording with that one. This one can come up a little bit. Bring these tails up. There's that red tail. I knew I was missing one. It had to be in there somewhere. Okay. All right, and then we're just going to take a last look, make sure all of our tails are spread out evenly, especially on the bottom layer. They want to kind of naturally spread apart, so we got to kind of bring them back a little closer toward each other. They will learn over time where they need to go. It just has to loosen up a little bit. Just a little stiff. It's got to loosen up. It's like me when I first stand up after I've been sitting for half an hour or more. Do you guys get to that point in life, like where you stand up and you're like, I can't move yet. I need to stand up and let everything settle before I can walk. Yeah. Fun times. Fun times. All right. I think we are good here, my friends. I am super happy with how this turned out. Again, this is a kit available in my shop. You can go to sweetariadecor.com. This kit, many other kits are available. Lots of patriotic kits. Especially because of this year, and I just posted an America's 250th birthday kit, which is awesome, with the sign. It turned out really cute. I'm happy. I'm happy with how it turned out. I should have ordered more signs because I wanted to make one for myself, but I'd rather give the honor and the ability to do that to my crafty friends, right? So we'll see. Maybe I'll order more. All right, here we go. Let me hold this up. Okay, so this is our finished wreath right here. All right, it's 22 inches round, and probably This one is, yeah, this one's probably 4 inches deep. It's not very thick, okay? It's not super thick. You can fluff out these bows more if you want to, if that's not a factor for you, but here we go. God bless America. All right, excellent. Well, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it so much. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and take care of yourself. Do something this week that is just for you, because you deserve to pamper yourself. Not with diapers, but I mean, like, take care of yourself. Get a manicure. Take a bath. Take 20 minutes and read a book, right? Reclaim your time as a human. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you watching tonight.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me all over social media, and you can shop my store at sweetariadecor.com.